Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we cover Hunger by Roxane Gay, a deeply introspective memoir that explores the challenges of living in a body that society often rejects. Published in 2017, Hunger not only delves into personal experiences with weight, body image, and self-acceptance, but also examines broader societal issues that exacerbate these struggles. Roxane Gay, an esteemed writer and associate professor of English at Purdue University, is renowned for her contributions to the New York Times and her best-selling books, Bad Feminist and Difficult Women. Her eloquent and unflinching prose in Hunger guides readers through her painful yet enlightening journey, making it a pivotal read for victims of abuse and sexual violence, students of psychology and social work, and anyone grappling with eating disorders. This book offers a powerful voice for those often left unheard in society, providing solace and understanding through its honest narrative. Join us as we explore how Roxane Gay transforms personal adversity into a compelling call for compassion and empathy. Hunger, a memoir of my body. Introduction: The power of truth in storytelling. Roxane Gay's memoir Hunger presents a narrative that is crucial yet infrequently explored with such raw honesty. Her journey highlights a deep-seated issue within society where obesity is not just a physical condition, but an emotional and psychological battleground. Dr. Gay opens up about the aftermath of a traumatic event and the often unseen struggles that ensue, involving the use of food as a coping mechanism. Through her candid account, Dr. Gay sheds light on the broader implications of obesity in the United States. She challenges the mainstream norms, the relentless promotion of diets and strenuous exercise regimes, by illustrating why these often do not address the underlying factors of obesity. Her story provides an essential perspective that could lead to a more empathetic understanding of weight-related issues. In listening to her narrative, listeners will gain insight into the lasting impact of trauma and the exploitative nature of popular weight loss programs like The Biggest Loser. This memoir is not just a personal confession, but a call to action for more compassion and a nuanced approach to discussing and dealing with obesity. By inviting readers to consider her lived experience without preconceptions, Roxane Gay fosters a dialogue aimed at better understanding and addressing one of society's persistent challenges. Part 1: Tragedy and Transformation. Roxane Gay's pivotal life event. Roxane Gay, born to a family of Haitian-American descent and raised in Omaha, Nebraska, began her life steeped in the values of her Catholic upbringing. As a young girl, excelling academically, Roxane envisioned a future in medicine, inspired by the respect and stability she associated with being a doctor. Unexpectedly, her trajectory was altered at the tender age of 12. Roxane endured a horrific and life-changing trauma when she was raped by her then-boyfriend and several peers. This violation was compounded by immense shame and guilt, sensations magnified by the teachings of her faith, which had emphasized purity and virtue. Convinced that she was at fault for straying from her religious principles, Roxane found herself unable to share her ordeal with anyone, including her parents. In the aftermath, food became her refuge. Roxane secretly battled with her anguish through compulsive eating, a silent scream against the nightmare she endured. By consuming excessively, she subconsciously sought to protect herself by making her body less appealing, thus less vulnerable to future assaults. This behavior escalated when she attended a prestigious boarding school, where her newfound autonomy allowed her to indulge without restraint. Despite the outward success, including acceptance into Yale University's pre-med program, the emotional toll of her secret became unbearable. Eventually, Roxane's outward persona of the model student and aspiring doctor crumbled under the weight of her inner turmoil. She left Yale, abandoning her path in medicine to pursue a relationship with someone she had met online, an attempt to start anew. Yet, it was also a period where she felt deserving of poor treatment, reflective of her shattered self-worth. Roxane Gay's narrative starkly illustrates how a single, violent moment can redefine a person's life and identity, casting long shadows over their future. Her journey through darkness towards self-acceptance and understanding illuminates the complex interplay between trauma, self-image, and societal expectations. Part 2. The Cycle of Abuse, a reflection of self-image. After her traumatic departure from medical school, Roxane Gay entered into a series of relationships that painfully mirrored her internal struggle and damaged self-perception. These relationships, marred by both physical and emotional abuse, seemed to fulfill a tragic expectation Roxane had of herself, that she was unworthy of anything better. During this difficult period, Roxane grappled with feelings of profound worthlessness, rooted in the violent assault she endured as a child. These feelings led her to seek out partners who reinforced her negative self-image. She felt her body was already desecrated and perceived physical abuse as a continuation of the disregard she believed she deserved. This destructive mindset also influenced her eating habits, as she indulged in junk food to further punish herself. Roxane's relationships became a perpetual cycle of seeking validation and enduring criticism. In one poignant incident, after making an effort to look attractive by getting professional makeup done, her initiative was met with derision rather than appreciation. This experience was so humiliating that it turned her away from makeup altogether. At one point, Roxane considered that relationships with women might be less abusive. Through her ensuing experiences, she discovered her bisexuality, yet even this realization did not bring the emotional fulfillment she sought. Her relationships with women and her continued attractions to men frequently ended in familiar patterns of drama and victimization. The abuse Roxane faced wasn't limited to her intimate relationships. Strangers too often treated her with disdain, adding layers to the ongoing trauma she battled. Through these experiences, Roxane Gay's life became a stark portrayal of how deeply embedded trauma can dictate one's relationships and self-worth, trapping them in a relentless cycle of abuse and self-degradation. Part 3. Understanding the overlooked struggles of the overweight. In the United States, discussions often center on an obesity epidemic, yet there remains a significant gap in empathy for those who are overweight. Roxane Gay highlights this societal oversight through her own daily experiences, which paint a picture not just of struggle, but of a profound societal neglect for the emotional and psychological dimensions of obesity. As she steps outside her home, Roxane is constantly conscious of her space, attempting to minimize her presence to avoid undue attention. Despite her efforts to blend in and navigate her environment quietly, she often encounters people who perceive her not as an individual going about her day, but as an undue encroachment on their space. This societal tendency to view overweight individuals through a lens of inconvenience manifests in numerous daily challenges, from uncomfortably small seats on public transport to clothes that fail to cater to larger sizes. Dining out brings its own set of fears, where Roxane dreads the possibility of narrow chairs with armrests or fears the embarrassment of breaking a chair that cannot support her weight. More often than not, she finds herself on the edge, both physically and metaphorically, as she navigates public spaces designed without considering people like her. This lack of consideration extends beyond physical spaces to public discourse and media representations. Shows like The Biggest Loser not only oversimplify obesity as a mere issue of physicality, but also exploit the contestants' efforts and struggles for entertainment. These portrayals ignore the deep-seated emotional and psychological factors that often contribute to significant weight gain. Instead of offering insight or genuine help, they parade a spectacle of overexertion and humiliation under the guise of motivation. Roxane's narrative urges a re-evaluation of obesity beyond its physical manifestations. It's a call to recognize the often complex emotional realities behind weight gain, rather than reducing it to a problem of willpower. Society's narrow perceptions not only isolate those like Roxane, but also hinder a deeper understanding and support for the underlying issues associated with being overweight. Part 4. The dual challenge of obesity and visibility. Roxane Gay's decision to gain weight initially served as a defense mechanism against sexual assault, aimed at making herself less attractive to potential predators. However, this strategy also led to an unintended consequence. It increased her visibility in ways that subjected her to public scrutiny and humiliation. Her experiences reveal a disturbing trend where strangers feel entitled to comment on and actively intervene in her life solely because of her weight. An example of this invasive behavior occurred during routine shopping trips when individuals, without any personal connection or understanding of her circumstances, removed items from her cart under the guise of offering dietary advice. This assumption, that obesity correlates with a lack of intelligence or self-control, emboldens people to disregard her autonomy. The challenges Roxane faces due to her size extend into her professional life as well. During a literary event, a simple act of climbing onto a stage without stairs became a public spectacle. After a prolonged struggle to join her fellow panelists, Roxane's ordeal continued when she felt the chair beneath her crack. Forced to squat for the duration of the event, the embarrassment compounded her discomfort, highlighting a lack of accommodation and consideration for diverse body types in public spaces. Beyond the physical and emotional trials of obesity, Roxane's identity as a black woman adds another layer of complexity to her attempts to navigate society. In her adult life, she chose to reside in small towns, seeking the anonymity and slower pace absent in more bustling urban environments. However, these predominantly white communities often enhanced her visibility, subjecting her to both racial profiling and harassment, further complicating her desire for invisibility. Through these relentless challenges, Roxane has embarked on a journey towards self-acceptance, gradually learning to treat herself with the kindness and respect she deserves. Her story is not just a tale of the struggles associated with being overweight. It is a profound commentary on the societal perceptions and mistreatments that exacerbate the difficulties faced by individuals like her. As Roxane's narrative unfolds, it beckons a closer look at how society might foster a more inclusive and understanding environment for all body types. Part 5. Embracing self-compassion amidst personal and societal challenges. Roxane Gay navigates a complex landscape of emotions stemming from personal struggles and societal pressures regarding her body image. Her journey exemplifies the ongoing battle between self-acceptance and the harsh standards imposed by society. Roxane's path to kindness towards herself marks a pivotal transformation. After years of unhealthy weight control methods, including a phase of bulimia, she has made significant strides by choosing healthier eating practices and embracing home cooking. This shift not only reflects a physical change, but also a deeper, more nurturing approach to her health. Relationship dynamics add another layer to her story. Roxane's family, characterized by athleticism and conventional attractiveness, frequently focuses discussions on her weight and health. Their well-intentioned but often pointed remarks underscore a painful duality. While their concern is a testament to their love, it also inadvertently heightens her sense of isolation by not fully accepting her as she is. At the core of Roxane's internal conflict is the fear that losing weight might strip away her protective barrier, a concept deeply entwined with her past trauma. The anxiety of becoming vulnerable again often leads her to regain weight, although she is increasingly aware of this cycle. Recognizing the psychological roots of her eating habits is a crucial part of her journey towards transformation. Roxane is also motivated by a desire to shift societal views on body image. She aspires to influence the discourse on body politics, advocating for a broader recognition that happiness and self-worth should not be dictated by physical appearance. Her personal evolution is not just about changing herself, but about challenging and transforming how society perceives and values bodies of all shapes and sizes. As Roxane continues to reconcile with her past and its impact on her present, she stands as a beacon of resilience and acceptance. Her message to others who have faced trauma is powerful and clear. It is okay to find peace with your past and to integrate it into the fabric of who you are. Final summary. The fundamental message of this book revolves around the profound and often overlooked struggles of those who are overweight. It challenges the prevalent societal narrative that tends to oversimplify obesity as merely a lack of self-discipline or poor health choices. Instead, it highlights that weight issues often stem from deeper emotional and psychological challenges, including trauma. In an ideal society, there would be a greater effort to understand the underlying causes of a person's relationship with food and body image. Instead of contributing to a culture of shame and stigma, there would be an emphasis on empathy and support, recognizing that derogatory attitudes and discrimination only compound the difficulties faced by those struggling with weight. This book underscores the importance of shifting societal perceptions and fostering a culture that does not equate physical weight with worth or moral value. It calls for a collective approach that promotes mental and emotional well-being, advocating for a compassionate understanding of each individual's journey. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.